Hello everyone, my name is AI Candii and I'm here today to give you an insight into how to become a streamer. Technically a virtual content creator, but this tutorial is going to cover the gamut of just being a streamer in general. I am going to be making a video series specifically about the technology regarding becoming a VTuber, which includes models, technology, programs to use streaming, that sort of thing, making your own model, all that kind of stuff, but that's going to be another video series. This specifically is about the actual impetus and the setup and the Twitch and the OBS and all that good stuff. Let's get to it. Putting my hands away because they're really annoying when I'm talking. I talk and they move and they strangle me. Alright. I began streaming in 2015 and I used to do IRL streaming. For about 2 years I streamed on and off, and then eventually I took a step back because it wasn't very good for my mental health, and I was streaming for what I consider now to be the wrong reasons. I was streaming for validation, I was streaming because I was like, wow, I really just hope that people like me, etc, etc. Forgetting the fact that I didn't like myself. So it's really important for you to identify why you're streaming. So, this brings us to this year. April 2020, that's the year. Oh my god, 2020, what a year. I began streaming again for fun around the start of April, and then by June 9th, I became a partner with Twitch. I went from having no viewers, no followers on Twitter to about, I think, 2,000 followers, and yeah, I had partnership. So this is not to say that this is an easy path or anything like that, or that it was a natural progression of my channel, and I will be talking as well about partnership and my thoughts on aiming for partnership, because I actually coincidentally don't think that you should aim for partnership or even affiliate. I have a bunch of questions from my chat and I'll be answering them sort of one by one, unless I think that that format doesn't work, and then I'll stop. So the first question was, what would you advise a new streamer or someone who wants to start streaming? I would advise that you stream for the reasons that you decide. So that does sound a bit weird, because you think I'd say, oh, stream for fun, or oh, just stream for, you know, like, you would think it would be an easy answer. However, the problem is that people stream for multiple reasons. Some people stream because they specifically just don't want to be alone while they're playing a game. Some people stream specifically so their IRL friends can watch, and then some people stream because they do want to turn it into a career, or because they think that they have something to bring to the sphere. I think it's important to identify what your reason is for streaming and then stick to that, and also reinforce that outcome with your behaviors. I don't think it's worth saying to everyone, stream for fun, because some people just actually don't have fun streaming and they actually genuinely just want to become famous, which, whatever, that's not my problem. That's not me, man. I don't want to be famous. Wait, no stress. But no, seriously. It's about identifying where your value comes from streaming, because ultimately it's a hobby slash a career that does require you to do like at least 4 hours, not every single day, but like it's a very time intensive hobby. It's not something that you can do lightly. Even if you do just do it as a hobby, you have to actually do it for, I think, reasons that are valid to you. And that's the thing. You have to identify your value and why you're doing it. If you're doing it because you want to become a partner, your enjoyment and your trajectory is going to be different to somebody who's doing it genuinely as a hobby. And I do stipulate this because if you're watching as a hobby, then a lot of the information I'm going to be providing to you is not perhaps relevant, such as purchasing assets or learning to edit, doing social media management, that kind of thing. If you're just doing this as a hobby, or literally just streaming because you think it's fun and you want to just enjoy yourself, you're welcome to pursue it in that manner. And that's not to say that I don't do it for fun as well, but I also was critical about myself. I rewatched my streams, I watched my content back, I was kind of looking at it from a more critical position, which allowed me, I think, better growth in the long run. And so I think it's important to identify why you're doing it and then what you can do to service yourself in that avenue. Thank you for coming. That's the answer to question number 1. The next question is, do you think that having a set schedule will get you more viewers? I don't think that any of the information that I'm going to provide will inherently give you more viewers. That's something that's going to be decided by the mixture of like content, timing, luck, networking, friends, content that you wish to make, for example, the games you choose to play, all this kind of stuff. I think that getting more viewers is something you can work towards. However, it's never guaranteed. And I always refer to Twitch as kind of like a vending, not a vending machine, I wish. It's a slot machine. So basically you're putting your time in, you're putting your love and your effort in, and then you're hoping that you get a payout from it. Not everyone obviously hopes for a payout, but the idea is that you're essentially putting in time into something that may never pay dividends. So I would suggest that don't think about what's going to get me more viewers, because the real question you should be asking yourself is, will this make better content in the long run? Because the better your content, naturally it's sort of like you're chasing an end result as opposed to working on your craft. So it's really important that you're actually providing and working on your content, making sure you're doing the best content that you can, as opposed to, am I getting the most clout or attention for it? Because I would actually argue that in the first couple of weeks or even months of your stream, it's actually a good thing to have a smaller audience, because you can take risks, you can make mistakes, you can do your tech, stuff, like you can work out, is my microphone not working? Is my are my alerts not quite what I want? You have all this free time to be like working on your content and making it better and better. So when you do eventually get up to 100 viewers, say, then you will be putting on the best show that you can, as opposed to people having an initial impression of you that is negative or is not as polished as what it may have been had you had some time to define yourself further. The third question is, should I aim for partner on Twitch? So coincidentally, I didn't aim for partner. The way that I would describe it is that I approached every stream with the impetus of, am I having fun? Am I doing my best? Am I making the content that I enjoy? And I didn't actually ever do a partnership push, and I never told anyone when I applied for a partner, and I didn't ever announce it on anything that I was applying for a partnership, basically. Which is not to say that you can't do any of that stuff, but from my understanding and my impression of Twitch as a platform, it's that if they see that you're pushing for partner, to push for partner implies that you aren't naturally sitting at the point where a partner sits. Which isn't to say that's not bad. It's fine for people to try to motivate their community towards an end goal, but the problem that you run into when you reach that goal is that you have ended the journey, basically. Your aim was to get partner, and then when you get partner, that's the end of your journey. So I think it's important when you're creating content and creating a channel and streaming and all that kind of stuff, that you are always looking for goals that are going to further you and your content as a whole, as opposed to help you reach a milestone. Because while partnership is really nice to have, as you get more emotes, you get transcoding options, you get some kind of legitimacy within the Twitch community, it's not quite what it used to be. Twitch partnerships, there used to be 18,000 partners, I believe, in 2014 or 15, and now in March 2020 there was about 41,000 partners. So the status of partnership is not as illustrious, and companies aren't immediately wowed the same way they once were by partnership. So getting a partnership with Twitch doesn't necessarily guarantee you any privileges, per se. So as a content creator, it doesn't really stand to benefit you as much as just working on your content, sort of solidifying your community. There are so many streamers that are so successful that aren't partners on the platform, and sure, there's a better split on subscriptions, but it's all with the affiliate program and how that was introduced. The gap between partner and affiliate is getting smaller each day, and from a viewer's perspective, they just want to watch someone that they enjoy, and someone that is fun, and someone that they want to be around, or they're learning from, or they're engaging with, or that they care about. It's the same thing with should I have the best emotes so that people want to subscribe? The reality is that people are subscribing because they want to support you, not necessarily for your emotes. The emotes are a nice privilege or a perk on the side, but it's not the main impetus of people subscribing to you in the first place. I would argue the same thing with partnership. People aren't inherently going to think of you as more important because you're a partner, because the scape of Twitch has changed so much. So I think aiming for a partnership should be a milestone on a longer journey, not an end goal for people. The next question is making friends with anyone to have support a good idea? I'm going to interpret this question as, should you just become friends with everyone in the interest of having a better channel? I would say for your content and your life in general, it's very important that you curate it towards your values and what you want to see. So the people you're friends with and the people that you support reflect upon you, and then you reflect upon them. So it's more of a symbiotic partnership and something where you're giving as much as you're getting. You never want to be looking to make friends with people so that you can grow, or you're becoming friends with people because they benefit your content is a very limited scope, I think, on the sphere of Twitch. And I definitely think there are people, and this is the part of the next question, is trying hard to become friends with bigger streamers a good idea? I think it's really difficult because there are benefits, obviously, that people may interpret from being friends with someone larger. But the problem is then you're putting this pressure on someone that you're friends with to support you, or you're expecting someone else to make your channel for you. The reality is that even getting a big raid isn't going to make or break your channel. It's sometimes there can be that lightning in the bottle moment where someone becomes super big because of one particular raid. But the reality is, like, you don't want to be, you want to build your content on you. You want you to be the main element of your content. You want to be the one driving it forward. You're responsible for your own success. You never want to put it on your friends or people that support you to make your content better for you. And you should never expect your friends to host or raid you, and in turn they shouldn't expect that of you either, unless you obviously have like some kind of agreement where like, I'll raid you this day if you raid, you can obviously negotiate that, but I would doubt that that's like that's perhaps a different approach to Twitch that I don't partake in. That's not what I did. I didn't do that. I always approach everything with a generosity mindset of what can I do for other people and how can I support others and how can I help others do more. Which is not how I used to approach Twitch. And that was one of the many things that I learned in my time off, is how to be more generous with my time and my effort without giving away everything that I do, like without belittling my own value. Next is how to build a community. Okay, bro, I have no idea, actually. This is like the one question that I have no idea how to answer, because the thing is, I just kind of put my values forward, and I'm incredibly blunt and very, very honest, and so I think that naturally just resulted in me having a community that really suits me. I don't endure people that make me uncomfortable. I don't like people that make my community lesser. I don't like people who talk down to me. There's like certain attitudes that I don't like to encourage. I'm just incredibly honest and transparent about my expectations, and if people step out of line or if they do something that I don't like, I'm happy to tell them honestly that they've done that, and then they'll either be ousted of the community. I think growing a community is like gardening, where you have to be basically curating the space, and you want to be culling and weeding and and preening the environment to what helps you thrive. Everything always comes back to how are you going to help yourself make better content. I think having a supportive community obviously helps you to make content because they're going to be excited to see you make content. However, you shouldn't again put pressure on your community to help to like get you places and do things. You can obviously have goals and be like, follower milestone, partner, like, oh no, aim for partnership, guys, that would be fun. But I don't think that it's worth I think it's just very good to be mindful of what you're offering your community as much as you're offering to them. I'm still not sure about how I've developed my community. I'm just really appreciative of everyone. They're all super, super nice, and I'm just like, what the heck? I don't even know. I just feel really lucky. That part's hard to answer. Tips to keep the viewers around. Decide what the value of your channel is. For me, I know that people really like the fact that I'm very chatty and I engage with chat, and I'm happy to have in-depth conversations as much as I'm happy to do memes and weird transitions and dumb scenes and stuff like that. I think it's important to look at yourself, watch your own content back, and then identify what the draw of your chat is, like what the draw of your channel is. I will also say that I actually do actively ask my chat, how did you guys find me? And also, what do you guys enjoy about me and stuff like that, which sounds really conceited when I say it like that, but it's just important. It's just important to like ask people like, hey, what's up, dudes? Why are you here? Because then you get information directly from the people that you're hanging out with about why they're there. You want to be making the kind of content that you want to be making. You don't want to make stuff that you don't enjoy and you don't engage with and you don't like, because even if you do find success in that kind of content, you're not going to enjoy it long term. It's going to be kind of this like bitter victory, because you'll be happy that you're doing well, but it'll be at the cost of your ability to enjoy yourself long term. Like, I've seen people who do solo, like they'll solely stream one game until they get partnership, then they get partnership, then they change games, and then they lose that they lose their viewership because there was this promise and understanding between chat and the person who's a streamer that they would be doing a particular kind of content, and when that disappears, then the people disappear. I always make it very personality first. I'm always like, this is my stream, it's about me, I don't really care about the gameplay, and that's another thing. So when you get raided, for example, this is like a weird aside, if you get raided, I think it's really important to, as best you can, put the focus on the raid, as opposed to putting focus on your gameplay, because for me, my gameplay doesn't matter. I'm just doing glorified just chatting 24/7. People are just there to listen to me talk, and if a bunch of new people come into my stream, I would really prefer that they get a good, honest interpretation of my personality and who I am, as opposed to like getting a win in a game. Like my value is, I mean, obviously if you're a gameplay centric channel, then obviously you'd want to focus on the gameplay. But if you're like me and you're just trying to put your personality first, variety, that kind of thing, people are just there for you, you would hope. So when someone raids you, I really try to make sure that I acknowledge chat and I engage with people immediately, because you have about 5 to 10 seconds of people before they decide to leave. A lot of people will leave after a raid if someone just, if you come into a raid and then someone, the person that is raided either doesn't notice the chat, doesn't like notice the raid, doesn't acknowledge the raid, doesn't engage with it, or doesn't even like respond or even try to talk to the people who come in. People don't stick around because it feels kind of like, it feels rude, which is not to say that that is rude, it's just what it can feel like when you're in chat. So I think it's worth, as a streamer, making sure you acknowledge and you engage with people when they raid you or host you. Next question is, how do you get yourself to stream and get over the anxiety? I don't know. I just was like, hey, you know what I'm gonna... Actually, okay, here's kind of an interesting thing. So I used to do IRL streaming, as I said. I actually started streaming again in March, and I got so anxious, I had to stop the stream, and I cried for like an hour, because I was so nervous about people saying shit, and being like, oh, she's so cringy, blah, blah, blah. And so my logic was, what if I just make a whole new channel, completely detached from my old stuff, and then nobody knows who I am, and if I fail, I'm gonna fail on my own. And that kind of worked out for me, because I've approached this channel and being a VTuber with this attitude of like, I really just don't give a fuck what people think about me, which is not really what I'm like in general. I'm very conscientious and I over worry and I'm very anxious and I over talk and blah blah blah. Like I'm very, very nervous a lot of the time. But it's been really good for me, because I just threw caution to the wind and said, what's the worst thing that could happen? And I decided the worst thing that could happen is that I let the anxiety stop me from streaming, and then I never even try and do it again. And if I'd listened to that anxiety, I would have stopped the stream in March and stopped streaming altogether. And I've already made that mistake twice in my life, where I put streaming aside for other things and other people, and I decided like it wasn't for me. I was like, I'm not funny, I'm not good at this, I'm bad at this, I shouldn't even try, blah blah blah. I like basically talked myself down from it, so I never even really had the opportunity to try, because I basically took that away from myself. And I think it's a hard thing to force. You can't force yourself to stream or to get over the anxiety. But I think it's important to know that like, it's so much harder to start. Once you get started, it's so much easier to keep going, because you'll have the motivation of people around you, people being like there to support you. And the last question with regards to just like general stream stuff was, how do you start streaming if no one IRL knows about it? They don't think it's worth it, but I still want to do it for fun. This is sort of similar to the last point, and sort of also to the first point, because you need to decide for yourself what the value is of streaming to you. For me, I found the value is in the fact that I got to share, like, I don't know. I just thought I was funny, to be honest, which is kind of interesting, because a lot of advice videos will say like, oh, don't try to make being funny your thing, because you're not funny. You think you're funny, but you're not. Like, a lot of things will, like, a lot of stream advice content is trying to be helpful, and it tries to tell people like, this is what you need to do, and you need to play this and do this and blah 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 blah. There's so many basic tips that I can give you. For example, make sure your panels are all set together. I'm gonna make a video about the panels. There might be a card popping up now if this is the future and I've made that video, but this is the first in the series, so making sure that your layouts are good, making sure your audio is good, making sure that your setup is done, making sure that you're playing a game in a certain directory or certain category at a certain time. There's so many things to like optimize it, but the problem is it's so many like external factors, and it fails to take into account the fact that you are still a person at the end of the day, and you are making content because you think it's valuable and you want to share that with people. And I know it's a little bit hokey dokey, but that's kind of just my real belief, that if streaming is really something that you want to do, you need to allow yourself the confidence and the time to just give it a go, and like let yourself fail and fail forward and learn from your mistakes. And know that even if you do stream and you say something dumb, or you like fail at a game and you die, like that like that's happened to me so many times, and it doesn't matter, because people just want someone to hang out with, and you could be that person for someone. You may not be like, there's so many kinds of people, there's so many unique kinds of people out there. I think it's really valuable that there's more people that stream for fun or because they want to become partners. It doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, it's like there's such a value in that. There's such a genuine value to that I think has yet to be tapped, because everyone sees like the upper echelons, and they're like, oh, I have to be like this person. But it's like, I really think that streaming is about, for me, it's been about really identifying who I am at the end of the day. And that's the most important part that I think that I can tell you is let yourself be honest, and also journal, like write down, I mean, this is gonna sound lame, but I find it really helps, like after a stream, I'll write down how I feel, and it helps to reflect on it and look back and say like, oh, you know, this day I had a good stream, like in the numbers, but I actually didn't feel that good about my stream because of these reasons. There's so many things like that I think are really valuable. I guess the culminating point is that being a VTuber has helped me a lot because it has allowed me the freedom to define what I am and who I truly am, while also just like making content, having fun, developing a community, just enjoying myself. I think it's important to do things at your own pace. You don't have to do anything at the start. You can just take it easy, one step at a time. I will be coming out with a video next about the more technical side of being a VTuber, though I have included a playlist down below, which is all my favorite tutorials about how to be a VTuber. And I will also try to include other resources in future videos. Please just check out the playlist if you want to know about like Vroid models as tracking software. Just to let you know, I made my own model for this. This is me, AI Candii, and I'm using VC Face by Emiliana, and it's a free to use program. I technically made this model for free, although the eyes are a preset that I got for free as well, but you can get it from booth.pm. So that's kind of the technical side of this. As fun and important as aesthetics can be in terms of like catching people's attention and all that, it's really worth developing yourself as a content creator as much as you are developing yourself as a virtual content creator, because you have to like know how to stream and know how to like make panels and do all the technical arty stuff on the side. As it's very, very fun to like slap a model on and go on stream, but like there's so many other things you need to learn. And don't let that intimidate you. It's super exciting. It's fun to have a hobby. It's fun to have a job. It's fun to do things. It's just fun to learn. Okay, alright. This has been like 22 minutes, probably more than that. So I will see you guys next time with a video about modeling and that kind of stuff. And being a VTuber in an aesthetic sense. Alright. I'll also probably do more videos. So if you have any questions, actually that's a good thing. If you have any questions about anything I've talked about, or you want to know more in depth about my journey from becoming like my basically 2-month journey from starting my channel to becoming a partner, I'm happy to do a video specifically on that. I just felt weird like flexing that, but I wouldn't mind discussing it because I have a bunch of notes. Okay, alright, I'm gonna go now. Bye. Oh my god. I should mention I stream on Twitch as twitch.tv/iCandii. Yes, my parents illegally named me twitch.tv/iCandii. Thankfully, it became a streaming service. So you're welcome to check me out there or on Twitter, AICandii. And yeah, if you have any questions again, let me know. Okay, bye. Bye. Why am I frowning so much? Come on.